was predominantly house music. You're now seeing a resurgence of black house, electronic, black pop music in 2022. And I've been like, well, yeah, that's cool and all, but I've been on this wave for 5 years, and there are people who've been on this wave for a whole decade prior to me.
That's true. That is definitely true. So how has your success been in when it comes to you diving into pop, and it's different because it's a dark skinned brother doing it. What's your success like? How are your numbers doing it? When people hear it, they expect you to do an R&B, but when they hear you do pop, what are their first reaction?
Whew. They're like, your voice sounds different. It's like a mixture of this and that. And I said, well, great, thanks. But I feel when people really hear it's like there's a message behind it. It's not just what you hear on like a Z100 or a Y100, like the
Right.
top 40 radio. It's basically pop with something underlying. It's gonna sound like top 40 radio stuff, but there's something deeper if you
Right.
just sit down and listen to it.
Hey, yeah, that's true. But that's a good thing though. It's you got something different. It's in a different genre than us as black men are usually into. Usually you see a lot of successful black women that go into pop. But that's so much for black men, you going straight to pop and you actually starting to make a name for yourself. That's amazing, man. That's something that's commended because you're not following the same, let me be a rapper, let me just be a R&B singer, and let me try to get on this come up that way. You're doing it a different way. And that's different. We're finally crossing over to other things. And that's amazing.
It's like this. It's different, but that with difference comes vulnerability. With difference comes vulnerability. And that's one thing that I really couldn't do with modern day R&B. I can't be vulnerable. I can't open up like that because society says as a black man in these specific genres, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed.
Yeah, that is true.
You're supposed to be this way. You're supposed to be in this little box. And I never was one to fit in boxes. people think I'm insulting myself when I say this, but I'm not. I always say I'm too fat to be in a box. I'm too fat to be in a box because I'll never fit. I want to be who I am, and that's who I'm going to be, regardless.
Right. Man, all right, okay. So let's start to get more into it. We only got 15 more minutes. Let's start getting into it. All right. So one of the topics that I definitely want to discuss while we get into this, right, is independent artists not wanting to do business, right? I know that's a big thing when it comes to when it comes to doing this. And you've been a vocal coach for some years now. So one, you're an artist. Two, you're a vocal coach. So you teach artists at the same time. So let's get into the business aspect, which a lot of us forget. Do you think? Yeah, I mean, let's go. What do you think about our indie artists not wanting to do business? What do you think?
I'd make a slight correction. I am not a vocal coach, but again, creative director. But we do talk about this. We do talk about why artists don't want to do business because we're not built for that. We're just not. We're not built for that initially. We're there for the art. We're there because we love the art of creating something. We love the art of being in the studio. We love the energy. We love the vibe. It's when you really take this to another level, that's when the business aspect has to come first. That's when the business aspect comes first, where you're going to have to learn about splits. You're going to have to learn about copyright and what two different copyrights we have. You're going to have to learn about the different royalty collection agencies. You're going to have to learn about that kind of stuff. It's a whole different world for what artists know. And if we don't study it for ourselves, we can, and you decide you want to sign a deal, so the label going to use your lack of knowledge and your lack of wanting to know against you. Now we're in a society where basically all the information is out there. You have Google, you have books on music business, You have courses on music business. One of the greatest courses on music business I've ever enjoyed was with DJ Chuck T, who is one of the biggest DJs in North Carolina. Took his like he literally goes through this whole thing for 2 days and breaks it
Right.
down to you. That's one of the greatest courses. I implore everybody to go check out DJ Chuck T. And if you're in the area, take this course. Yeah, like it. The lack of knowledge is no longer acceptable. It's it,
That's
it,
true.
it's just not like now you have
You got
to
to be
know it.
taught. You got to be taught. If you're not
Artist
taught, that's how you fail.
artist development isn't a thing anymore. It's not the '90s. They don't do artist
No,
development. They teach you this stuff.
they
You
want
got to teach
artists
yourself.
that's already developed.
Right.
It's and I agree with you. It's different now. It's not even different now. It's you have no room to be like, I don't want to learn now. Like you have because they make YouTube videos, they got podcasts like these, they got books, they got apps that'll literally teach you. You can go and Google today and learn from what 50 Cent got a book. I just bought the book from Gucci Man, the guy, the success. I haven't even read it yet. But you got artists that are in mainstream writing books on the business because they were so screwed over. So you kind of have no reason to not know or try to teach yourself the business because it's no longer let's make the music and that's it. You know what I mean? It don't work like that no more.
It's a whole process. It's a whole thing that I guess all of us as artists, again, I'm guilty of it. That we don't understand that we have to do the business because we're not major labels. We're not signed to major labels who just, if we're good, if we're really good and we bring them enough people, enough audience retention, they can do it for us. We have to hustle and
Right.
learn this business for ourselves to stand out. How do you stand out? How do I make this profitable? This is a business. This is not like a 9 to 5. This is your 24/7. If you really serious about it.
Exactly.
For everybody who's listening and watching, whatever, go find the book by Donald S. Pierman, yeah, about music business. Get that book, study it, read it. That's basically every artist who's indie. That's basically their Bible. They live and breathe by that book.
Right. All right, let's get into the next topic. I'm gonna have Devontae do this topic. All right, bit easy. Here's the next topic: dreams versus reality.
Dream versus reality. Okay. Um, I say that a dream is only a thing you can do to push it. Reality is you when you if you live it and you show everybody what you can do with the reality of you of what your career. Because a dream is just a thought process. A reality is something that you're doing constantly as a music artist. That's like whatever you do. I think that's what you can do both, but the reality of it, you have to sit there and say, I have to do whatever I have to do to get my music out there to the people to get it out to. Why are you dancing in the background? One time, you're dancing, but but I like that you can do both. The only difference about it is only a thought process. Putting the work into that situation.
Okay, so then,
What about you?
what do you think?
What you think about that?
Okay, so here's my take on it, and I just had to pull this up for from Denzel Washington, and he says, "Dream without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment." And I don't believe dreams. It should be dreams versus reality. It should be dreams into reality. If
Okay.
if you plan and you work hard for it. If you plan and you work hard for it. A lot of us, we have dreams, we have visions, and that are attainable. But here's the kicker: a lot of dreams are broken because people refuse to plan and they refuse to do the work. They refuse to plan. They refuse to do the work. Nothing is easy. Dreams turning into reality is like alchemy, turning lead into gold. It takes work. It takes work. It takes years. It takes those nights when you're crying, those nights when you're by yourself. It takes work. It takes studying your craft. That's what it takes. Dreams can become reality. It's not going against it. It can become reality if you work it. Just like a piece of coal turning into a diamond, it takes heat and pressure. The amount of heat and pressure that you get, that's how clear a diamond it will be. And even after you get the diamond from the heat, you still got to cut it and shape it to how you want it. That's what dreams are. That's how you turn your dreams into visions, turn your visions into reality. How many people got 1, 5, 10-year plans? How many people got business plans? How many people got goals? How many people have vision boards? How many people manifest? How many people pray? Like, how many people do that and really work their goals? How many people do that?
Man, definitely not too many. All right, let's move on forward. AJ, I'm gonna have you ask him these questions about exactly what he thinks. We're getting to the nitty gritty because it's starting to pop up more, especially within hip hop. More answers.
How do
more
you
stuff
feel?
On Snapchat? Go ahead.
Feel about?
Oh, how do I feel about LGBT in music?
How do you feel about it? What's your take on it?
We have Elton John. That should be enough. We have Elton John. We had Queen. We had Freddie Mercury and Queen. Why is it a big deal that there are people who are LGBTQ plus in music? They've always been there.
Facts.
But on you and what you're saying, but nowadays when somebody come out, I don't want to say it, somebody come out like that, it's like the people gets mad, especially if they are skin color.
Okay, so this is going to probably get me excommunicated from the church. We as Black folk have been taught for years that through our faith, through our spirituality, that being LGBTQ plus is a sin. And I'm not the person to judge. That ain't my call. Okay? That ain't my call. What I will say is this. It is something that is taught and learned. It is something that is taught and learned. Hate, no one just is born with hate unless you are a psychopath. You gotta be taught to hate.
That's true.
And with everyone coming out,
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. That's something different.
Oh, okay, let's go deeper into this part then, because we're talking about music. So, what about being LGBT in hip hop? Let's start with hip hop, because I've seen pop is okay. You could be like that in pop because they kind of expect it sometimes, but in hip hop, it's kind of frowned upon in hip hop. Like you can't be a gangster rapper and then come out and be like, oh yeah, this whole time I was doing stuff and now I'm coming out. It don't look the same, And more artists are coming out more where they've been coming out and they've been sleeping with transgenders on the low key. AJ, what was that one dude that everybody been sleeping with?
A little WAP. He really don't want to say the G word, but he came out as that. But then he switched it to being bi, and he sees himself as a king.
Well, what about that white dude or white girl? I don't know what you call her. She's a male, but she's white. She wears makeup. She's got the hair.
Let's use proper pronouns.
I don't know what you would. I don't know if she or
if that's what
I don't know what they would call.
So here's the thing about pronouns, and I work in education, so we have to really discuss this. Here's the thing about pronouns. Whatever the person identifies as, you is like how you asked me earlier, like what's your pronouns? And I told you like I'm a he him. It's great to ask that question. It's great to ask that question because it shows that at least you're trying.
Right.
You're at least trying. So whoever the person identifies as, just be respectful and say, okay, cool. I'll call you that.
Right. But we all know this person. We've seen that they're a big YouTuber. I know AJ
Are you
knows
talking
what I'm
about? Okay, let's just put it like this. What's the dude's name that was on a double antenna?
Yo, you mean Sausage Antenna?
Yes. What would him? Because I don't know who he's talking about.
You know, I haven't really never listened to Sausage Antenna. I know who Sausage Antenna is, but I've never really heard them actually say what their pronoun. And you see how I'm saying like they them, because if you don't know, you can say they and a them. So
He'd be like, "I'll take your man, girl. Yes, bitch, because I'm a bitch and I'll fuck you." Like he literally she literally talks like a female. Wears everything a female wears.
again, like I said, if they ain't give a confirmation of what they are, that's them. And even some of my friends who are in the community, they basically said like they don't always do the whole pronoun. They don't do that. They say that's kind of a new thing.
Right.
But for those who are really,
but what about when it comes to hip hop though? You think it's good that we're starting to accept it more, or do you think it kind of?
I mean, it's always been there. It's just it's always been there, but it's always been hidden. Let's put it like that. It's always been there. It's just always been hidden. And many artists who you're seeing who are older, like Da Brat, Queen Latifah, you're starting to see like it's always been there. It's always been there. It's hidden because they know that it at their time has never been acceptable. And with still the majority of our people still not being super accepting, you're not going to see it. And for the brave few who do decide to do come out, I'm like, more power to them because they have a right to be represented as well.
Right.
I've always had this statement: if we scream in Black Lives Matter, that means taking everybody, don't matter who. Like that's just my stance on it.
All right, so let's get into the next topic, final topic. Liking your label mate. This is one that I've seen a lot of drama, especially with people that work together, especially people who do business together or they're in labels. Do you think you necessarily have to like your label mate in order to do business?
No, but be professional about it. Keep it cordial. Don't ruin the money. Don't mess with the money. If your label puts you together for a collaboration because you're two of the biggest artists on the label, keep it professional. You don't have to like each other. You don't got to hang out. But you know that, hey, we're two of the biggest artists right now on this label. We combine our powers together. We can make a massive hit. We can make a movement, a moment in music history if we do it right. There's a lot of people on labels who do not like each other, but they know that they can't mess up the money.
Right. After we make this song, you ain't gotta talk to me at the end of the day. I'm gonna go my separate way. You're gonna go your separate. We'll do the show together. After we get on stage,
promo tour.
It's about the things.
You gotta do the promo tour together. You gotta do the live performances together. You gotta do the video together. And just imagine if the song blows up and becomes like a massive hit. You gotta go to award shows together and possibly do a tour together if both of your albums came out at the exact same time frame. So it's all about sucking it up, being professional, then afterwards. Then after the whole thing is over.
If you want to go to the gym and fight each other after we just got done recording the song, facts, do that. If you want to fight each other and box it out in the studio before we record, all right, Let's take a break.
I
Let's
wouldn't
fight.
even
Let's
do
go back
that.
in there. Let's make this hit.
I wouldn't even do that. No, I wouldn't even do that accurately because think about it. This industry is all about image. So if this is an image that y'all beefing, nobody's going to believe what y'all saying in that song. Like nobody.
That's true. That's true.
So y'all better be like presidents. Lie.
Lie. Get to the money. Let's get to the money.
And y'all can fight after the song has died down, after success has died down. Y'all can fight afterwards. Matter of fact, fight 2 years later down the road when y'all get all the money.
Ooh, just don't affect the money. It's about the bag. It's like take your. This is how I explain it, right? When you go to work, there's people at work that you don't like, right? And a lot of times we want to become friends with the people at work at our job, but then the more that they piss us off and they realize they were never our friend, we get butthurt. But then when you think about it, at the end of the day, when I go home, I'm not gonna see this motherfucker when I go home. I'm gonna be mad about it, but I don't have to. I can say hi to the motherfucker and go about my business. So it's like we're doing this, and this only happens with black people. I'm not gonna say it doesn't only happen with black people, but I see it happen mostly with black people. Just because you don't like each other, they don't work, right? Because the ego. But white people, they can hate the shit out of each other. They get together and they work and get the money. It's about the money. I don't like that person on my board of $1,000. So he's on my board. I don't like him, but he got that money. He got what I need. I'm gonna make up, invest in me to make me money. That's all I care about. But it seems that in our community, I don't like you. Leave me alone. They forget about that. They forget about the money.
But see, that's the thing, though. It goes both ways because you don't know what reason why that person doesn't like the other. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. It goes both. Depends what it is. The reason why that we have it like that for our black community is because that we never like it's like this. If some person is making money off of what they're doing, the other person is making off of something they're doing. It's going to be beat because that person is from the west side and from the north side. Sometimes even though they sometimes they what?
Which I'm like that. That's for me. Like again, I'm from a whole different genre, but I always felt like that was kind of counterproductive. Okay, you're from this part of the city. I'm from this part of the city. Okay, so that just means we're just one half of this. We got one half of the city behind us. So if I come together with my half and you come together with your half, basically we conquer the city together. The problem has always been ego. It's always been ego, and it always been this notion that someone's coming for somebody's spot. Nobody's coming for anybody's spot. Everybody's trying to get their own, stay in their own lane, do their own thing. I've never been that kind of person to trying to compete with nobody. It's just not a thing for me. I'm like this. If we win together, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. Ain't no ego, ain't no competition, ain't no beef. We are going to be okay. But a lot of times it is just ego, and you don't even know what you're fighting about. You don't even know what you're mad about. You're just mad because you're just mad. And
missing out on money.
And you're messing up on money instead of just saying, hey, can we sit down? Can we talk about what's going on? What's happening here? Instead of just, hey, I just want to jump down your throat and shoot you and kill you and mess up the money.
Exactly. Well, all right, man. Hey, this was a nice interview. We'll go ahead and do the closing remarks. We try to keep it under 30, keep it at 30, but we always end up going. So this thing is the first time we've actually done a lot of questions and kept it at around 30. So everybody, I'm gonna let everybody ask a question that's on the panel, and then we can go from there. AJ, you can go ahead and start ask your question, your closing question, your last question.
What made you get into music?
I've always been into music, been inspired from a lot of musicals, Broadway, Disney films. Always wanted to sing, and I think what really made me do it just really telling my story and telling, helping those who have been through stuff, helping those who have gone through a lot. So that's my main goal with music, is just sharing the stories and sharing the art.
I understand.
All right,
For
Big Jeezy.
Devontae,
Okay, my question is going to be this: What am I inspiring? I'm trying to use a different word. What not made, but like, what was it like? Make you want to understand? Like, you want to help people with their any type of problems with music, like, you know, because we got you got we're making music nowadays, like Post Malone's making music about people popping pills and shit, but like what made you understand what makes you understand that it was this music was your thing, like for sure thing.
When I've seen, well, basically when I've seen the darkness and found my way back out. If you don't know that I am a survivor of suicide, um, and one thing that saved me was my
Glad you're
music.
still here.
Thank you. Music saved me, and I feel like God gave me this gift to sing, gave me this gift to perform and share my stories. Why not use it to help somebody else who may be going through darkness themselves? Because everybody needs a little light, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mine, can you sing some? Let people know what you're working with.
Oh, I can't even hear you. Way off.
I said, can you sing some? You know,
Oh,
we want to hear what's in yours.
I always like singing this song because I always mess with Philip when I do this. Okay. Buscando donde puede estar, solo mío, mi único corazón extrañando lo que necesita, porque nadie quiere estar solo así. Una ni nani, oh, dame lo mejor de ti, yo nunca me voy. Una ni nani. Estoy listo, creo que estoy listo. Una ni nani, yo mis pisos que oro y cuesta de hoy. Una ni nani. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for love. Already. Already. Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, you want to sign to an indie label that ain't got no R&B singers, and you could be the first one that we've ever had ever been looking for. I can't offer you no advance, but still, yeah, I'm broke.
one more question. I know I said my ending question, but this is my
Listen, ask all the questions you want. I'm open to it.
So somebody, you say you got your own.
Oh, I didn't get the last part. What did you say?
You gotta say it again. We didn't hear you.
I said you said you got your own label, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Diamond Dust Music Limited Co. is my label.
So
I
if
go ahead.
my bad for cutting you off. You can
It's
continue.
cool.
If
No, it's
somebody,
all right.
if somebody out there watching this want to, how good do they have to be? Because now I see people like big that has no talent at all.
Ooh, well, it's all about your work ethic. It's all about your work ethic.
What's that one?
I mean, shoot.
What's that one
If you
guy?
think about it, it's I was saying, what I was trying to say was that you got a lot of other rappers that aren't that good. So there's a lot of rappers that got no talent because they all sound all the damn the fucking same. Hey,
Who's that one artist? Gucci Gang.
Little
He
Pump.
has no talent whatsoever.
Lil Yachty.
No, it's Little Pump.
He's still rapping, but he changed.
Little Pump. My fault.
Yeah, Lil Yachty is still going strong, but he's
Lil Yachty is more of a producer now.
Right,
So,
and he does drill. He does drill music now. He's more underground. He's doing underground drill music now. He's working with underground artists doing drill music.
Man,
Okay,
man,
so
fuck this
si-
whatever.
since you're a vocal, well, not to get it confused with vocal coach, since right, David.
I couldn't even hear what that last part was. It's like
I
Right.
it
said,
goes in and out. Is it?
I said, since you're into vocal voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think? How you heard an artist name? Have you right?
Still missed it. Hey, gummit.
They go to out as soon as you said it.
I said, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Juice WRLD's vocals.
Oh, you mean how do I like Juice WRLD's vocals? It's very
Yes, what would
rocky.
you rate him
It's it's it's,
in
it's
your eyes? Like, cause he joined your
I
label.
wouldn't rate him at all. I don't rate people's vocals unless they're really really bad. And unless they're really really bad.
My vocals.
With Juice WRLD, it's very rock, like very like I can if Linkin Park needed a new front man, R.I.P. Chester Bennington, Juice WRLD would have been it. Juice WRLD would have been a great fit with Linkin Park.
A lot of people, yeah, I agree 100% with that. But a lot of people that I know personally be like, "Oh, Juice WRLD was a F-rate rapper because all he was in drugs," and that's not true.
Well, hate to put it to everyone, but how many other artists are pretty much doing drugs, weed, drinking a lot, suffering in silence, dealing with
I agree.
anxiety?
It's not a drug.
90% is
Well,
going through stuff,
I'm part of the
but
1%
they
that does not.
Right.
I'm part of the 1%
What's
that
your
doesn't do drugs.
Alright.
question, Godfather?
My closing question is like this: you got your own label. So when it comes to the actual legality of it, you got name everything you got. I know you probably got your LLC. What else do you got besides your LLC to set you
LLC,
up?
EIN, register. You need to register with partner with a distribution, and that's hard. It's so hard.
Especially when they
literally.
free and they fuck you over.
Oh God, it's hard. It's like 2 years. Then you also make sure all your paperwork with your copyrights. Make sure that you have an LLC book and a journal to maintain all your paperwork, all your certificates, all that kind of stuff. And then you have to go out and make connections. Connections. Your network is your net worth.
I agree with that, man. Your net worth is your net worth. I definitely agree with that, man. And one thing, the only advice I give, you got your pro, right? So
Yeah.
make sure you're collecting your mechanical royalties as well. Sign up for MLC, the music licensing. I forgot what it's called, but MLC, the music. Instead of you going to Harry Fox and become a publisher, you can get all your mechanical royalties for publishing through MLC. At the same time, you can become a publisher on BMI with your whole LLC. You gotta register, it's like $300. It's so many things you can do to collect, and make sure you do your media base, your sound scan, your sound exchange, so you can collect them royalties for radio. You collect them radio royalties. That's good, man. That's good. So what's the most you've made off of music?
Oof. Most I made off music was like 1,000. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't touch that yet. I think we just now making $27 coming in. That means you putting out music consistently and promoting.
Actually, no. I just did one thing. I have one song that is constantly being played in a gym. In like a Planet Fitness. I have one song that's constantly being played in the gym. And it's been playing in that gym for like about 3 years.
Is it in every gym, or is it just that one gym?
It's in a couple of gyms. It's in a couple of stores. It's with a company called Alpha. And they have to vet you first before you do it. And that song is been in that gym, been around for a while. Like it's almost at 1 million. Alpha. I think it's Alpha Music. I gotta look it back up, but that song has been playing constantly for around 3 years. since
You've
I
been
put it
collecting
out.
your royalties on your pro too.
Mm.
You've been
And it
collecting
never,
every
it,
single
and it,
royalty.
yeah, and it never came from my PRO. It came from the company itself. Like my PRO,
Oh,
honestly,
so you
was
got
like,
a sync licensing.
yep, and that's
Sync
hard.
licensing deal.
That is a hard thing to do.
That is, man. Every time I find sync licensing opportunities, they want you to pay to submit the music, and then it's not even guaranteed that you're even gonna get the licensing opportunity. Man.
Exactly. Like most I got from my
So
PRO is like
I got one more question.
$63.
I got one more question. So, David.
Mhm.
So what program, like what program do you use, like when you record your music on?
I go to a studio that I love called War Drum Mixing Studio in Savannah, Georgia. It is my favorite studio because they have basically worked with so many different people. They just did, I think they did something with Kiki Palmer recently. But I love War Drum Studio. Here's the thing: I've never learned to produce, something that I'm learning on the side. 'Cause I'm learning how to use Ableton. But until then, I've been using my Wardrobe. I've been using Wardrobe since 2020, where literally half of my entire catalog came from out of Wardrobe Mixing Studio. I think only one song was made. I think only 3 or 4 songs were made to other studios outside because I didn't have a studio home at the time.
Really? Okay, we're going to get, because I'm in Savannah, so when you're definitely come down here, man, and you go to that studio, let me know.
I'm actually going to be there somewhere either this month or next month because we're recording the last couple of songs for the album.
If you need a verse, let me know.
Definitely. We're recording the last couple of songs off the album, and then that's about it. However, I can let you, I don't know if we can do it on here. I don't know if we can. I can give y'all a sneak peek of what's coming up next.
Actually, you can do it on here because I can share my screen. So if you got it on your computer or your phone, I can share my screen and you can play it, or I can play it. So yeah,
Okay, let me pull it. I'm gonna
you're
pull it up.
definitely able to live it.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I don't know
You
what he
better
said. But all right, hey,
pull up now.
48 minutes. All right, this is Mousiki Radio. We had a good interview. Hey, everybody that tuned in, thank y'all for joining. We actually had a couple of people tune in this time. David, thank you for joining us. I knew
No
this was going to
problem.
be a great interview.
If I can give one piece of advice for all my artists out there, and especially now, listen, artists, if you feel like your city is not supporting you, if you feel like your town is not blasting your music everywhere, here's my biggest advice for you: get your passport, get your plane tickets, and go travel. Just travel. Play any show that you can. I don't care. I don't care what the show is. Play every show that you can. If you have a bunch of free time and you're not doing anything, play as many shows as you possibly can. Have some promo material, free music, whatever. Play as many shows as you can, because the more that you perform, that's how much more people are going to know your name and going to know who you are. Is if you keep performing, keep talking, keep networking. Don't just sit at your house in your studio and just nothing. Go perform.
Exactly, and I agree with that. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know performance royalties pays you more than streams than radio do. You're gonna make more performing a song, even if it's an open mic. They have to have a licensing to play your music in that open mic if it's registered. You're gonna make more money off of doing a 10-minute set at an open mic through your pro than you gonna make off of doing 1,000 streams of a song. So definitely, I definitely agree with you with that. You gotta go perform.
Got it. All right.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well,
I'll let y'all hear the song
all right,
afterwards.
cool.
After we're done, we'll all listen to it together.
Right. Hey, thank you for everybody that joined. Thank you, Big Easy Little Boy AJ, for tuning in, asking questions. Hey, this was Mousiki